So, and I'm going to start in the inside here, and I'm going to start on the part that has the larger triangle because I want to show you this first. So I'm going to pull the bobbin thread up so I have control of both threads, and that's how I'm going to anchor my thread. And I anchor my thread by stitching in place. Now, a lot of your machines, I know some of you have really great machines where you can push a button and it does a lock stitch. Please do that. I don't show that because some people don't have that machine and they also need to know what to do. So what I do is I just hold my fabric in place and the machine doesn't know that I'm doing that, and it just keeps stitching. So now I'm going to go follow right here in the ditch, nice and slow. If you want to, just take your time. And then I'm going to peel this back as far as it wants to go without wrinkles. And so something like this would not be good. But then on the other hand, something like this, not enough. So you just kind of smooth it out, and when it feels right, it usually is right. So then I'm going to stitch on the very outside of this. And on most of these blocks, I don't know if I explained it to you, they're centric. So that means that they're connected in the center. And so I'm going all the way through until I come to the midpoint, and then I'm just going to go to the other side. I can stitch right through. So you want to match your thread color, of course, which by some miracle today I did. And then you're going to come out here, so you can just go in the ditch, and then now you have this part to contend with. So this is a dimensional flying geese, and so there's a little trick that I do in the point which I really wanted to show you guys. So I'm peeling this back as far as wants to go without wrinkles, and you can see that it's just a little narrower as, say, this one. That is because there's less fabric in that fold, and the distance from here to here is much shorter than from here to here. It's half that, so less fabric can be peeled back. Okay. And now I feel like I'm gonna fall off any minute now. So I stop and breathe, and then I lift my presser foot and I adjust, and then I go to the other side. Again, I'm feeling like, okay, I'm done in this curve. Let me adjust, and that's perfectly fine, so just take your time. Now, on my presser foot, these little arrows here show you about a 1/4 inch from the needle, and that's where I stop. Why can I use my regular 1/4 inch foot on this particular model? This foot lets me see the needle, and that's all I care about. So I usually don't switch it, but an open toe foot works, even a walking foot works. Okay, so now I'm going to do one, I pull out my needle and I push the other part of that triangle over the first one, and this actually is an overlap. And if you want to or have to, you can do a hand walk. You can do the first stitch with the wheel of the sewing machine by hand. And then I'm going to go to the other side. So, and stitch in place. So what I would do is go all the way down and then do the other side. So now that I'm here, I'm just going to stitch down, and if you stitch in the ditch, I don't know if you know this, you can actually feel where that ditch is. So I stay in the valley part of the ditch. I never try to consciously go up on top of the other part. So turn that off. Okay. So I'm just stitching in the ditch and through the midpoint. And now I'm switching to the other side because my valley is down here, which I call the valley. It's just where the seam is not. Okay, now I'm coming close. Okay, lift my presser foot, pivot. This was my original thread, and just not to get tangled, I'm going to clip that off. Okay, and it goes, I have a little thing of a little batting patch here where I throw all my threads on. Okay. So I'm going to peel this back as far as it wants to go without wrinkles. Now I'm going to do the other side so it points the other way. So I hope you can still see it. And I'm going to go right around the edge here, just nice and slow. Okay, so here's the 1/4 inch deal. The 1/4 inch goes from the point to here, so this is where I stop approximately. Now my foot will tell me where that is. right there. I mean, one thread here or there is not going to make a difference, but as long as you don't go all the way to the tip, because if you're trying to split the difference of those two things, it's harder. It's actually much harder than overlap. Overlap will always look clean, and you don't have to worry about uneven looking sides. Okay, I pulled out my needle and I'm pushing one side over the other. Can you see? And then you can hand walk your needle if you want back in and go on to the other side. Okay, so I'm actually going to stop here, but I just wanted to show you. So I stopped about 1/4 inch before this point and pivoted and put the other side over the first side, second side over the first side, and continue on.